Can't use that mug anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna just, okay. This video has given me so much anxiety for the past like 2 years. Not actually filming the video and posting the video and, you know, like on that end everything's great. It's like that's what I want to do. The anxiety comes from the fact that there are gonna be people that are gonna watch this and not like it. This is my channel and I said from the beginning that I wanted this thing to be a reflection of me and my life and my thoughts. I mean, obviously there are limits. I'm not gonna film myself in bed for 3 days when I'm in like a sad place, because that's not entertaining. No one wants to see that. This is not sad. This is good. This is happy. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I can say that this is a happy thing. I want to talk about my journey, as cheesy and ridiculous as that sounds. Videos like this, coming out videos and all those types of things really, really helped me when I was in high school. So, without further ado, let's get into my past. I was a pretty happy kid. In elementary school and middle school, I was pretty popular. I mean, middle school, I was like early middle school, like 6th grade. I was pretty happy. I liked my life, I liked my friends, I liked everything, and that kind of coincides with the fact that when you're younger, you don't know that, like, you don't know what gay is, you don't know what sexual orientation is, and you don't know that not being straight is bad until you're taught it. Which is unfortunate, because I started to learn that at about 7th grade, late 6th, early 7th grade. There were a couple girls that came out as bi when I was in 8th grade, I think. A lot of people weren't treating them very well, saying that they were just doing it for attention and that they were weird or whatever, and it just didn't make me feel good. So, I mean, this whole time I'm very like, I think I'm straight at this point. Obviously, I am not. Looking back in hindsight, I am not straight. I was very deep in denial. Very, very deep in denial. It was very unhealthy and very bad for my mental health. I had a falling out with my best friends in 7th grade, I think. That happens when you're in middle school. You break up with friends, you make new friends, you're growing as a human. But for me, it was so traumatic because I thought that they knew that I was not straight. Even though I still, at this point, was not out to myself, so I wasn't admitting that I was anything but straight, but still there was this fear that they were not being my friends anymore because I liked girls. The important thing to remember when you're looking back at your past, like, well, that wasn't even a big deal. It was a big deal to me. Like, the events might not have been catastrophic, but how I interpreted them, it was the end of the world. And so that has lasted me all the way until now. Like, a lot of like the issues I have with my self-esteem and my brain and all the other things that go on inside of me stem back to that time in my life when I was afraid and sad and I thought people were turning on me because I liked girls, which is ridiculous. They didn't know. No one knew. I didn't even know. Why was I so afraid? I transferred to performing arts high school halfway through 8th grade, and I stayed there until sophomore year of high school. And I'm really grateful that I went to that high school, because if I were to stay in the public high school thing with all the cliques and the people and the, I can just tell it would not have been good for me. I would have been worse than I was, and I was not very good. I was still struggling with myself and my identity and my sexuality, and I still thought I was straight. My first kiss was with a girl. I was in like kindergarten. That should have been a sign, like, hey, not straight. The first person I ever came out to was my friend Tara. Like, this was the first person I came out to in person. I had been out online, like on Tumblr, which wasn't really attached to my name, but I would like talk about it. So technically my Tumblr followers were the first people to know, but they didn't know who I was. So that doesn't count. But Tara was the first person in my life that I told in real life. I remember it vividly. We were at Golf and Guitar, which is this restaurant where they play music and you can play mini golf, and I was with my family and my cousins, and so we were all at this long table, and Tara and I were like on this end, and the rest of my family was just, you know, chilling. And some people had left because they were going to play golf, so it was just me and Tara over here, and I was just like, hey, this is me. It was no big deal. And I don't know, I was so nervous. I was so nervous every time I came out to anyone, even though most of the time it turned out fine. I mean, there are some exceptions, but not terrible. it was never terrible. Then I just started coming out to more people, more of my friends, more of my acquaintances, and when I went to college, no, I don't want to skip to college yet, I came out to myself in sophomore year. That was when all the evidence was stacked against me, and it was like, hey, you aren't straight, stop lying to yourself. And so that was sophomore year, and I came out to Tara November of 2014. From that point until now, basically, has been me trying to fix myself. At the beginning, like before I came out to myself, I was trying to fix myself as in, hey, that a gay thought? Bad. I would punish myself whenever I had a gay thought, and that was just bad. And all throughout middle school, I dated so many guys, like middle school, and like, in early high school, I dated a lot of guys, mostly to be like, hey, look at this. These are the guys I've dated. I'm straight. There's not a single girl in here. That was so terrible for everyone involved. Pro tip, if you are young, don't do that. Date people that you want to date, not because you feel like you're supposed to date them. And that's a whole other video I could get into, because oh boy. Once I started to come to terms with myself, I got a lot happier. It's crazy to watch my videos, like I hardly ever watch my past videos, but when I do, it's crazy because I can remember exactly where I was in this journey and how terrible I felt about myself. Oh yeah, that was the day where I like came home crying. No big deal. When I went to college, I told myself that I would be out. Like, I did not want to pretend to be straight anymore because that wasn't me, and it made me so unhappy. And just looking back at my videos, looking at where I was when I came to college, oh, it's so different than any other part of my life. I was so happy. And now I'm still really happy compared to where I was in high school. And so it's really, really cheesy to say this, but it does get better. Like, it really does. It so gets better. So if you're wondering what I identify as, I realized I didn't say that yet. The label that I really like, and I will explain this. Oh, hi, son. I identify as queer. And I love that label. Let me just tell you why I love this label. Because it used to be a really derogatory term. Calling someone queer was not a good thing. But I love reclaiming words because it's like, hey, this is my word now. You can't use it against me because it's mine. So screw you. I also love it because it's really broad. My own personal philosophy on sexuality is that it's fluid and it's always changing. Maybe not gigantic changes, but like small changes. It's always changing. We are human. We are not black and white. It's just, I mean, if I am coming out to like someone older, like a parent age, or someone who isn't really like into all the LGBTQ+ stuff, basically someone who isn't woke in that way, I'll come out as bi, because that's easier for some people to understand. Fun fact, I was going to make a video kind of like this, like a coming out type thing, at the end of Lion's Maid's, a song I wrote, because that song is about being not straight. A lot of my songs are about being not straight if you look into it deep enough. And I kind of want to talk about why I am making this video in the first place. One, because it's what I want to do, and it's my channel, and it just makes me feel better to make this video, to be quite honest. Oh my god, son, make up your mind! There are a lot of topics in the LGBTQ+ genre that I want to dive into, but they would need separate videos for it, and I just felt like I need to make this video to sort of preface everything. Another reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said before, videos like these really helped me when I was struggling, when I was dealing with myself. And honestly, if I can help one person the way that those videos helped me, then I can delete my channel and be happy. I won't. But like, that, my point is that I really want people to know that they aren't alone, which is a cheesy thing to say, because obviously you aren't alone. But when you're in a bad place, in a bad headspace, and you feel terrible about yourself, it's really easy to think that you are alone. And it's really easy to think that there will never be light and happiness outside of this dark hole that you have been living in. Oh, that got dark. I want this to be a safe place for people who are not normal. I hate that. I hate that normal is straight and abnormal is queer. I've made this video too many times to count, and I've rehearsed it even more than that. I've never scripted this video, but I have constantly rehearsed in the car, when I'm driving by myself, when I'm walking to class, I'll run it in my head. Before I go to bed, if I can't sleep, I'll just sit up and pretend I'm talking to a camera and just do this video. That's been happening for like years. I've been building up courage, and I don't even know what I've been waiting for. But hopefully this is the one that ends up on YouTube, because there are so many times I have uploaded them on private and just never clicked publish. I could go on and talk for ages, but I feel like that is not what anyone wants. So moral of the story, you aren't alone. I'm not straight. Sexuality is fluid. Adolescence is confusing and terrible. But it gets better. Number 5. Hey, I didn't cry. Not once. Yes. I've cried about this too much. I do not need to cry anymore. It does not deserve my tears.